Oh guys, it is Monday. Look at the state of this. That's Molly. Dobby's in the back, you can maybe see her. I bought them this off Temu. Wasn't very expensive. It's a nice Dobby. And they're in it. And that Snuggie. Darren went and bought a child's Snuggie because they love our Snuggies. So they have their own Snuggie now. And it's stuffed in there as well. They love it. Hello. Yes, I look all kinds of horrible. I've taken my foundation, my face makeup off apart from my eyeliner and mascara because I need micellar water to do that. So I've left that to last because I'm all sorts of like, because I'll be all red-eyed and watery if I do that before. Oh, there's a little spider there. I have to be careful of that. So I was going to catch you up on the conversation I was having with you in the car before Isaac came back the other day. So a little bit of an update. So long story short, like I was saying in school, kids are saying, go kill yourself to people when they fall out with them. Why don't you just go kill yourself? This big row Isaac had with this lad online, well, I'll just go do what you said then. Back and forth. Like I said, it culminated in his mother at 11 o'clock at night sending me 17 pages worth of screenshots of the conversation, the spider's moving. It's not a big one though. We'll let it walk about. Kelly, I know you're like, ooh. I would show you it, but I don't want to touch it. Why are we scared? No, it's going downwards. Don't go downwards because then you'll be near my pajamas. So, he's on a waiting list to speak to, it's like a family hub support thing because you can't take the chances. Like, we're 99% sure it's just a reflex teenage, you know, that sort of thing, but you have to be careful. So Darren called school on Thursday, but they were preparing for open night, then teacher training on Friday. So we didn't get a call back, so he called them back today. Oh, we'll try and get her to get to you as soon as possible. And they were making it clear that they'd get to us when they could. And Darren says, like, this is really important. Well, can I ask what it's concerning? And Darren just used the S word for unaliving yourself. And they went, oh, right, okay. And she phoned back later that day and Darren told her what happened in full detail. And, you know, Isaac was sending messages with language in it that we were disgusted. And he was saying the person that I don't know that person, that's not my child. You know, I feel like I've got two kids. That's not the side that we see. And he said how disturbed he was, how angry he was at Isaac, but at the same time how concerned he is about what had been said. And it said when he'd sat down and had a long chat to Isaac about it, the fact that Isaac said it's a throwaway thing that they all say in school when they're angry at someone. And he said it's only a matter of time before some kid that's having a hard time is going to take that seriously. And he says, I don't want that on my conscience. And school were aware of it. School said it's a real problem that we're having. Kids are like saying that in all year groups. They've actually now abbreviated to GKY, go kill yourself. She says it's a real issue we're trying to get on top of, but it's been bounded about everywhere. They're going to talk to Isaac and say, look, there's someone there if you want to speak, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel angry and you don't know how to, deal with it. But they were really good, really understanding. They're going to have a chat to the entire year group in the different classes, but they've said they're going to leave that till at least a week after they speak to Isaac in case there's a connection made, and kids know obviously that it's been his parents that have come forward, and then he starts getting a hard time. The wee lad was fine with him. Stephen, what he said, I think they decided they just wanted to pretend it hadn't happened. Thing is, this wee lad, like, everything's been pointed as being Isaac's fault, and I know Isaac was in the wrong for what he did, but Stephen was the one that said to him, why don't you go kill yourself? And he denied saying it. His mother says he didn't say that, but he did. We all know he did because the messages he sent to Isaac had said to him in the messages, there's another spider, there's a second one. Some spiders have babies. That's the second little one that's crawling about. Living in the country, guys, what can I say? They eat all the other bugs. No, I don't kill spiders. I generally put them outside, but they're tiny. When they're a little bit bigger, I'll put them outside. What was I saying? We knew by the context of the conversation because Isaac had said, he says, don't say that, why are you saying that? And Isaac said, because that's what you told me to do today. You told me to go do that at school today. So we know he said it, and his mum, when Darren went over to see them, his mum says, you haven't been saying things like that, have you? No, which we know is a lie. So he wants to pretend like nothing's happened. it seems like Isaac's the one all in the wrong and he's done nothing. Now we know Isaac's in the wrong, obviously we know. But this little lad's not fessing up to having said it, even though the context of those messages makes it clear he did say it, because there was back and forth about the fact he'd said it. The teachers tried to get the name of the kid involved out of us, but Darren said, look, I don't want to give the name because I've been to see his parents. His mum's very much like my little angel, but he says that they will not accept that he said that. She says, oh yeah, that does tend to be a problem. Most parents, she said, I'm very surprised you've called. I'm really grateful you've called, because most parents would try to hide this or would implicate other kids and not say their child has been at fault at all. They were really grateful and really appreciative. Darren said he'd been up to see the kids' parents and like, oh my God, I'm really surprised you've done that. It takes a lot of maturity to have done that. But basically he said he didn't want to give the name of the kid involved, and the other kid involved was his other friend, who is having a really hard time, depression-wise, physically, emotionally. I'm not going into any detail, but he's having a lot of trouble at the moment. I feel really bad for him. So yeah, there's certain kids like him that really don't need that said to them. So they're going to have a chat about it at school. Stephen and Isaac seem to be fine, but apparently the mother has said that they shouldn't go to each other's houses for now, because obviously Isaac's a terrible example. But that's fine with me. When that woman initially sent me just copious amounts of messages about her health and his health and the fact she was going to the politicians and she was going to, I was like, this woman's all kinds of weird. So I'm not not in a big way bothered, and she obviously doesn't want to see her kid's side, as in his culpability. She doesn't want to see it. Also, he's been moved from his previous class to Isaac's class because something happened between him and some other kids, but we don't know what it was. They said he was being picked on. I don't know what the truth about that is, but yeah, it's just drama after drama. And his friends' mums have said we had none of this with our girls. It's the boys we're having the drama and the problems with. I thought it was the other way around. I thought with boys you had all the trouble when they were younger, when they were just getting into everything and rambunctious and all that, and then when it got to teens it was the girls that were the issue. Apparently not so. Emotionally the boys are more difficult, according to mothers of both. Great. So we've spoken to everyone we need to speak to, and we've done everything we can do. Isaac got to go on his PlayStation today. He hasn't been on it since last Wednesday. Today's Monday. But he's not allowed to online game at all through the week. He can online game on a weekend, but only playing with his friends. He's not allowed to do the matches against them, because you just have to do everything we can to curb this if he doesn't know how to direct his anger. That's the thing we're on a list to speak to someone about. Try and get, he just says anger like builds up and builds up and builds up, and he doesn't know what to do with it, and he feels like when he loses his temper, he takes that after me. The verbal diarrhea like his mother. I would imagine that's just so me. Darren just is very, if he doesn't like a thing, he'll tell you black and white to your face, whereas I'll bite my lip for ages and then explode. And I think Isaac takes that after me. He's getting a lot of hassle in school about his hair. He's been called emo constantly. I'm like, Isaac, every child in the world is called something at school. I says, you're lucky it's that, there's nothing else that stands out about you. I got pizza face and dartboard face because of my skin. Darren, I think, got ratty, or ratman, because they said he looked like a rat from the side. He got the usual Mittler, Thrasher. I got like freak, weirdo. It's weird that they always thought that Morticia and Vampire were like insults, and I was always really complimented by it. But I said, Isaac, you're gonna get that. I says, emo is a type of music. It's a genre of rock. It's not a bad thing. But it's really annoying. They keep shouting it at me and they're saying it as an insult. I said, Isaac, just ignore it. We all get it. Every person in the world gets it. I said, you imagine the little kid that's got something physically they can't change that's been picked on. You're being picked on for a fashion choice, a haircut. There are kids out there that have things they cannot change about themselves that are lots of issues that they're picked on. So we shall see. Thursday, the buses are not on again because of another bus driver strike. So we were in today picking him up. Dungeons and Dragons club was cancelled after school, so we had to go in early and get him. Tomorrow is Darren's birthday, so we'll be going into town to have a bite of lunch. Wednesday I am taking the two, Callum and Isaac, to the swimming pool after school. They want to go for a little bit of a swim. They've decided to do that instead of chess club. Thursday I'm in at my mum's. Friday I am in helping supervise the scouts in the evening. Sunday I'm at my mum's. Saturday's the only day free at the minute, and that's usually a cinema day, depending on what's on. So yeah, that's a quick sum up on a Monday. If I haven't said it already, welcome to another weekly vlog. That's a little sum up as of now. I'm going to go take this muck off my eyes, and I shall catch up with you tomorrow on Darren's birthday. Bit of a terrible light, isn't it? Right, I'll not sit here for a length of time, guys. It is Tuesday, it's Darren's birthday. Actually, I'll show you some stuff we got for his birthday when we got home. I bought him the shirt that he'll be wearing when he gets into the car. I bought him a book that he wanted, that he's just had a nice surprise today and found out his name's in. It's a band that he really likes called Killing Joke. I think it's Killing Joke. And he had spoke to one of the guys, the singer, I don't know what one. And they'd taken the interview and put it in the book. I apologise about this light, folks. It's early evening. I told Darren, what the fuck? What? I told Darren we needed to be left. I booked a table at Pizza Parlour, and he decides that's when he needs to go to the toilet and not for a wee. I'm sure he lives in the toilet. It's ridiculous. So we're going out for a bite of tea for his birthday. That's about all to tell you. So he got that shirt. I bought him the book he wanted. I bought him a snooty thing for around his neck. I bought him a couple of books and some socks. Kelly and Dave bought him an awesome Frankenstein figure, which I'm so jealous of. It's probably of all those type of figures, it's my favourite. But then again, it is Darren's, but it's in the same house, so I can also enjoy it. They bought him a really cool mug. They bought him sweeties. They bought him more stuff and I can't remember. My mum and dad gave him money. He'll have got money from his dad. My parents gave him double the bloody money they give me. Darren says I think they've made a mistake. Is that because my mum bought me boots? That'll be why. But yeah, when he decides he's going to come out into the car, we shall be off. Why am I always waiting? Why do I spend my life waiting on other people? Trying to clear the screen. Sorry about the noise. So yesterday, a letter came home. Wait to hear this, from Isaac's school, which all the parents of year 9s, what we know as second years, came home saying, there's going to be a school trip next year to Italy, a ski trip. Now, most people's schools have ski trips. I remember when I was at school there was ski trips. Now they don't do Italian, so what the hell the point of going to Italy on a ski trip is anybody's guess. But anyway, why is this taking so long to clear? What I've put this on to tell you is how much it was. I don't know, Isaac. Yeah, that's the receipt that was in the window. Yeah, no, it's taking ages to clear. If I put it up high, it takes even longer.
When the engine warms up, it'll take quicker, just the engine's cold.
So anyway, this note came home about this school trip. £1,350 per pupil.
Plus expenses.
Now, it also said that ski hire was included, but you would need to buy, the full ski suits, the whole thing that you wear, the gloves, the hat, the goggle things, the ski suits, and you'd need more than one because they get sucked through when they're skiing. And they made this big list of things that includes, you were getting a load, and they said things like the hotel, the flight, their meals, and it's transfers from the hotel. So basically a bus that takes them from the hotel to the airport, making out like they were getting some big thing. So wee lad came in today waving a big wad of cash about, are you going on the ski trip? Are you going on the ski trip? Are you going on the ski trip? Isaac says him and another maybe two, everyone else says they're going, and I says absolute and utter rubbish are that many. How many parents, I'm sorry, even parents, how do I put on the rear clearer thing? Is that it?
The rear one, yes, that one there. So other characters in that corner.
how many people can afford £1,500 before you even start? They said there may be excursions that they take that you may have to pay extra for, just for a kid to go on a school trip. And there will be people with multiple children that have multiple school trips. And I'm like, Isaac, if it had have been a language trip to, you know, like a Spanish trip, or if he was doing another language and it had been something advantageous for a subject, I would have scraped the money together. I would have taken it out of our savings. But for a ski trip to somewhere where they're not learning the language, and to be quite honest, I'm terrified at the thought of him going skiing. So I said no. His friend Stephen's mum has said no. Callum's mum, that's his best mate, Callum's mum has said no. Daniel definitely won't be allowed to go. But most of the class says they're going. Absolute rubbish. They said they're going until people stop talking about it, and then when it comes the time, everybody's forgotten who said they were going. There is a ski trip at the minute of the year above them, and I would say there's at most 50 kids on it. Wow. And in like a whole year there are approximately 30 odd kids per class, and I think there's 5 or 6 classes, and only about 50 of those are on this trip. But apparently, according to Isaac, his entire class are going. So, but I'm sorry, but I had to. Isaac, can you put that off? Because I'm about to set off. So yeah, I'll put it off now. I'll put it on later and let you see what we're eating. We're going to the pizza parlour, which is like a really nice sort of restaurant-y place that does pizza and other stuff. So I better get going. I shall switch back on when we're in the place, and you can see what we're having to scran. Yeah, but maybe on a Tuesday, I'm not sure. Right, we're almost there. Isaac's obviously excited at the prospect of pizza. Oh look, there was a parking space right outside as well. This is Darren picking a menu. Right, so Darren got the chicken goujons. That's a salad. And I got lasagna and garlic chips. And Isaac got a monster pizza.
I'm dying. It's so warm.
And because it's Tuesday, buy one pizza, get one free. So there's one to take home. And now I'm going to dig in.
Why is the spoon so big?
Strawberry, sea salted caramel, and nutty chocolate. Absolutely no idea. Salted caramel and something.
Polar bear.
Isaac said it's the creamiest cheesecake he's ever had. Let's see. Good. How's your brownie? That means he doesn't like it.
Cakey.
I haven't had mine yet. I'll have a piece and let you know what I think. Oh. Yeah, it's very nice. Very tasty. Cats. Oh! Right, they've stopped now. I probably shouldn't have said... Let's see if I can do it again. I probably shouldn't have said cats. Oh, dear. Oh, you can't see it. It's too dark. Shannon, I swear to God, if my foot could reach Texas, I would kick your arse. This is fucking shocking. Dobby! I know. There you are. I know, darling. Cats. Right, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. It may make this more palatable. I can't see it like that there. I need to see Taylor Swift at some stage. Oh dear God. Jesus wept. Lisa fucking wept. Never mind Jesus. She's not sure. Neither is she. I've got the flash on. Hello, Dobby. Oh, dearie. make me laugh. You really do. Oh, yeah, this is probably not entertaining for you a lot, but it's making me fucking roar. Hello guys, this is way too close. I'm sorry, but Darren won't let me put it anywhere else. It's right at the side. Well, see my partner there? The reason that's there is if I'm driving the car and it's dark, it looks like people see like a luminous and they think there's a bloke in the car. I know that's incredibly sexist, but I always feel a bit self-conscious being out myself at night. Dear God, there's a car just come down here flying. I don't know who it is. Oh right, it's him. It is Thursday, so I'm going into my mum's a bit later. I've got my paws on. I've got my red hat on today because I'm wearing red. My grey hat's dressier, it's cuter, but I'm not wearing any grey. So yeah, I'm on my way into my mum's to hear about her tablets, carers and bodily functions. She's saying to Darren, Darren puts this seat and it's almost like he's fucking lying down. How do I... That's really weird. There's something weird happening in this car. My phone has just called Darren. The phone will go off in a minute, so this video will switch off in a minute because Darren's going to think I was called. Why did that just happen? I just called Darren and I didn't touch anything other than the bloody seat. I don't get it. What was I going to say? Yeah, into my mum's. She wants to go down to Boots to make an appointment for an eye test. She's been having a lot of really bad headaches. I don't think it's her eyes. To be honest, I don't think it's hard to say to her because my mum doesn't like to... It's like when she was told she'd MS, she stuck her head in the sand, and it's been the same ever since. You know, like when you say to her, look, this is an MS thing. My mum's sight is so bad, like you could be stood, like Isaac will be sat on the sofa in the living room and she'll say, oh, is Isaac not here today? And he's sat there. When she wants to see something on a shelf, she'll point and go, that there. She won't describe it, say anything about it. That one, and there'll be a wall of like 20 things and she's pointing 2 shelves above what she actually wants because her, what's that called, spatial awareness. Like when she tries to pick up a cup, the cup could be like, say here, she'll reach here for it because she can't tell where it is. And that's an MS thing. It affects your eyesight. A lot of people with MS go blind eventually. And she wants to go to Boots to get her eyes tested. And I mean, like, to say to her, it's your MS. And then she says, well, why am I getting these headaches? That's probably her MS too. There's like, people don't pass away of MS, they pass away of conditions caused by MS, like sepsis is a big one because of constant infections. Some people, their breathing is affected, the respiratory system. Thankfully my mum doesn't have that one. Other people can't swallow properly, my mum doesn't have that one. She's got the speech one and the infection one is the main ones for her. But it's just, I don't know, it's difficult because every day is the same and it's, you don't know what to say. You know, every day that I see her, all she talks about is every problem. You know, there's no, you know what I mean? There's no light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing. And it can be difficult. Yeah, I don't know. So other than that, is there anything else I can tell you? Oh, bus strikes again today, so we had to drop Isaac into school this morning, and obviously then I'm at my mum's. I made the arrangement before they told us the bus was cancelled, So then he'll have to walk up to my mum's after school, so I'm hoping it's not pouring down, because I won't be finished downtown. When I get into her house, she won't be ready. She'll probably be eating her dinner, and then like I arrive at about 2, she'll probably not be ready to go out until 2:45 or something. He gets out of school at 3:30, so obviously I won't be finished in time to go get him, so I'll have to walk all the way up. It's just, I feel like I'm constantly, right, there's a bus driving past me now. Right, it's not in service, it's just drove past. It's one of those yellows. Right, Darren's phoning me because I don't know how. Yeah, so Darren just called me back. He was in the toilet. Of course he was in the toilet. I said to him, I don't know why it's ringing you, and he says it kept doing that when I was on the phone. He didn't understand. Was something wonky? Oh, please don't come out. Forgot what I was saying. He's just phoned me to tell me I'd forgotten my bag, as in I had a bag with DVDs for my dad, homework that Isaac has that he has to hand in tomorrow, because I know he'll be up at my mum's before I get back, and I thought, right, well, I can get on with that homework. And a book for me in case my mum does her usual and goes and sits in the toilet for 45 minutes. But I've forgotten. I said to Darren before I left, I says, don't let me forget this, because my memory's bad. And I've left without it. The thing is, I put all of the stuff I needed in a bag, and I left the bag beside the front door, and by the time I had put on my coat, gloves and hat, I'd forgotten about the bag. That's how bad it is, guys. Jesus Christ. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'm now behind someone pulling a trailer, so I've been slowed down considerably. If I had been closer to home, I would have went back, but I'm like more than halfway there now. So we'll just have to do the homework when we get back. I am so sore at the minute. I'm really, really struggling. I say this every single year. I don't know why it surprises me every year, but when we get to this time of year when it's cold and wet, it's horrible. Every single minute of every single day I am in pain. Every time I have to move, get up from the sofa, you know, lying in bed. Can I get around this guy? I'm going to have a go at it. It's just difficult. Really, really, really sore. There's nothing you can do about it. And I've started this thing. Tell me if you do this, guys. I know everyone does it, but I've started doing it with massive amount of regularity now. Instead of just now and again, it's multiple times a day. Usually when I'm at rest or concentrating on something, I will take this big involuntary gasp, like that. But I know the reason people tend to do that is because they're breathing too shallow and their lungs want more oxygen, so it forces you to take a gasp. But I don't understand why. I've started doing it a lot over the last couple of weeks instead of occasionally. Now it's, like I say, it's several times a day now, and I'm like, what the hell's going on with that? That's new. So yeah, tell me if you have that and if you know what the hell it is. I'm in tomorrow night helping out at Scouts. I'm not particularly looking forward to it, so we shall see. The woman that I got on well with there, that I know, that sort of I talk to, well, I don't talk to, the one that I would, like, she would say, look, are you available? And I'd say yeah, and the one I'd mainly, like, my contact, I suppose, is the one that's not there. So I'm like with the other parent or with the other leaders, and it's like, oh, scary potatoes, social anxiety is about to erupt. And then they have in March, they're going to an airfield in Oma, and they're going to have a tour of the airfield and the planes, and then they can have a taster flight, and it's in one of these little small aircraft. Isaac doesn't want to do it. To be quite honest, I'm quite glad. I wouldn't have told him he couldn't, but the idea of him up in one of those tiny planes makes me really nervous. I wouldn't have said no, but he doesn't want to do it. There's only 3 of them of the group that are going that aren't. I'm glad it's not just him, because right to the last minute it was just him that had chosen the option for the tour only and not the flight. Everyone else had chosen the flight and the tour, but then 2 people at the last minute both put down the same thing, so he won't be on his own, which was a bit, obviously they'll have to take them up in very small groups, so there'll always be someone to be standing with, but I didn't want him to be the only one not going in the plane in case he got a lot of teasing about it. Plus he's a really bad traveller, he would be sick a lot, so it probably wouldn't, can you imagine up there booking in front of everyone? Right, I'm almost at my mum's, I'll stop waffling. Can't believe I forgot that bag. Literally a minute. There's a bloody pothole. Great. I think I was hitting it slow enough. Right, I'll hit you off, guys, and I'll speak to you later. Hello. It is dark. I apologise. Isaac's hiding. Can you sit up and then at least we can see something on the bloody Friday evening? I am just sitting off by myself for a change with Isaac to Scouts because I'm helping out tonight. I think I told you about this last week. They are doing experiments. I don't know what that means.
Science.
But they will have lots of stations set up, 4 or 5 stations, and they'll be in groups and they get to like go around the stations. So yeah, wish me luck, guys. I'll catch up with you at the weekend, let you know how it went. So off ski. Gonna go in a minute. I think we put it in the middle in the thingy. That's it. Oh, it's coming out like that, right? Okay. Hello. It is. I don't like how close this camera is. It is Saturday. Putting petrol in. We are going to see Argylle, Henry Cavill's new movie. We shall see what it's like. I've heard mixed reports. I've heard mostly good reports, but I have heard a lot of people say it's not what you think it is. It's different. You see, I think a lot of people are thinking it's a straight spy film, but it's actually it's about a woman that writes a book about a spy, and then there's like interspersed sections about, you know, with the spy novel playing. Darren's going on to get petrol. Well, I made him get petrol so I could record this a little bit because we're running late, because he didn't tell me we needed petrol until I got into the car. And then he says, well, it has the same amount in it as it had last night when you drove it. I says, no it didn't, as you did 25 miles in it this morning. Well, you would have knew I was going out this morning in it, so it was my fault that I didn't put petrol in it yesterday, because I knew he would be driving 25 miles in it this morning. Get that? Dear me. No point arguing because he's always right even when he isn't. Alright, let me move forward a bit. Just in case somebody wants the back pump. Yeah, so we're going to see Argylle. Oh, last night in Scouts was a complete nightmare. Right, there's usually 4 leaders. Just trying to keep an eye that nobody needs a pump. I don't want to block one off. There is Rita, Francis, Paul, and is it Martin? Saoirse's dad's called. Yep. So I was told Francis wouldn't be in. She's the main like head of it, and that's why I was going in. Occasional helpers are sort of there generally to supervise kids to make sure there's enough numbers. So we got in. No leaders there. One young lad that's an explorer that's now a youth leader. He's probably about 16 or 17. He's about that. Obviously he's not an adult leader. Eugene, who looks like Penfold, was back and forth from upstairs and downstairs because there was an explorer meeting going on with other scout troops about an upcoming trip. But because there were other trips in, and that's the more important thing, that's what he spent all of the time doing. Paul, who was the only actual leader that showed up 15 minutes late. So I'm in a room with all these kids and this young lad, And he's like, oh, well, Eugene's supposed to be helping. He said he would. And I says, well, obviously he's going to be in and out. And I know from just previous little things I've seen of Eugene, he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. And he's not particularly dependable. The thing is, he says yes to everything.
No backbone, that guy.
When he has already, you know, like I said to Paul, the actual leader that turned up, I maybe should keep my order to myself, but anyway. He says, well, they said he was helping and we need 4 people. And I said, well, I looked at him and I said, he's not going to be in this room all night. I says, he's going to be upstairs. I said, he'll stick his nose in if you're lucky. I says, we need to plan and go ahead with 3. This is me telling the actual leader. That man needs to learn how to say no, he says. So that's exactly what happened. Eugene stuck his nose in 5 minutes before the kids were due to go home. There was the young lad, me, that one leader. The other 3 leaders were nowhere to be. They were off as well. I don't know if the thing that she was at was something to do with scouts in Scotland. No idea. And then this woman showed up, also called Lisa, also with the surname starting with D, because he's like, right, what's your surname start with D? Oh, well, I can't call you both Lisa D. I says, call me Davy, I know what you mean. So he didn't need to call me anything, so it didn't really matter. But she's like going to be, she's actually already signed up to be a leader, I think, with no experience whatsoever. She has never actually looked after the kids. She said to me halfway through, do you do this often? I says, no, I've only maybe done it 3 or 4 times. I says, but usually there's a lot more leaders here. I said, it's never been like this before. And then I found out she was becoming a leader. I says, you don't know what you've let yourself in for, do you? So obviously Robert and Mayhaw and Ruben, as usual, wouldn't behave, never shut their face. Thankfully there was another group of lads that called Isaac over to their group, so he went over and spent most of the evening with them, and them lot were left together.
Messing about instead of doing stuff.
Well, they were with Paul, so I don't know how much messing about he allowed them to do.
He let them mess about, like kind of did stuff. Paul didn't do stuff.
Yeah.
And then they just walked.
The tables.
Yeah, the thing is, right, in order for you to discipline the children in any form, as in proper shout your head off, you need to be a leader. I'm only there as what I'm called as an occasional helper. And Paul was the only leader there, and obviously there's a lot of kids. There was probably 30 kids there, I would say. And he couldn't do everything. So at the end of the night, our group got finished first. There's all these tables with us doing experiments with things like baking soda and water and food dye, and it was a mess. And like paper and pencils and water bottles and scissors, you name it, loads of stuff all over the place. So we'd say to them, right, can you do this, can you do this, and you do this. So everyone was told something to do. And then you turn your back to do what you're doing, and then you turn back and they've all ignored you. And then you ask them, right, can you sort that table out, clear it and get the table away? Just sat there looking on their phones and completely ignore you. Or like when you're trying to get their attention, just like they're talking in their own wee group, so they're just stood completely ignoring you. And I don't have the authority to say, right,
You do have the authority.
you do. I don't know, because I'm not a leader. I'm just there to
You
help.
don't need to be a leader. You are an adult in charge of them, and they're supposed to respect what you're saying. And if they don't respect what you're saying, they need their asses kicking.
So then I phoned Darren when I come out and get told off. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you say this? It's
Well,
like, what?
You went to help out, to do them a favour, and they treat you like shit. That's why I was angry. I wasn't angry with you.
The kids did.
Yes,
not,
that's my
because
point.
that's how they behave. I've told you this before. That is how they behave. That's how they are. Well, you know yourself. You used to come in from Gaelic every single week, fuming, and you told me you couldn't give off because Malachi and Jared were in charge.
No, I did used to give off, but then they just let them get on with it again and do what they want. So I said there's no point. I said at the end there was no point me giving off because they just let them do it anyway.
Oh, that's exactly what happens there. Isaac will tell you every week they don't behave. Every time I have supervised, they haven't behaved. That's their behaviour. That's how it is. That's how there seemed to be. And Paul, who was the one that was there last night, is the one that's the strictest. He's the one that Isaac said is frightening because he shouts.
They've given them the rope now to do what they want.
Well, it's not my problem, really. I was there thinking I was supposed to be watching kids and turned up and there were like naff all leaders there, bar one that showed up 15 minutes late. But I felt so sorry for the explorer lad. I'm gonna guess he was 16 or 17. So mature for his age and so good, and he's got such a big booming voice that, you know, like when I talk loud, when I shout, you can't hear me because I don't have a projected type voice. But this lad's voice, when he shouts, the whole room could hear him. And he managed really, really well for his age. I mean, like, he's late teens, mid to late teens, but so much more maturity than I would have had at his age. And he did really well. He more or less was the one that was left with where everything was, putting everything out. I'm like, where's this go, where's that go, what's this, what's that, you know, and he was having to do everything. Paul looked really annoyed when he showed up, the actual leader, that nobody else was there. And he was obviously really irked at Eugene, but I think that is a normal thing. Eugene will go where the attention is. So because there was like a cross scout group meeting with scouts from other, he had to sort of like be in there. And then he came down at one stage and says, Father Michael's upstairs, so we might stick his head in at some stage. And I'm thinking, oh Jesus, this is all we need, a priest. And I've says to my group, I says, right, the priest might be down. I says, language. And then at one stage, they were supposed to be sprinkling pepper on top of water. It was an experiment about displacement when you touch dish soap, like fairy liquid, with a Q-tip into the water, like all the pepper disperses.
It does work though, I've tried before.
And the team, the group before us, had messed it up. The top had come off the pepper, and the pepper had basically the pepper was all stuck together, so it wasn't going to work. But anyway, when I didn't know this at the time. When we went to shake the pepper, they're going, there's nothing coming out, there's nothing coming out. So I've took the pepper to more vigorously shake the pepper, and the whole lid came off it. And there was a swear word out of my mouth before I realised what I'd said. No, actually it wasn't, it was half of a swear word, it was the SH. Didn't get the rest out, thankfully. But they found it absolutely hilarious. I said, you didn't hear that. Close your ears. So we couldn't do that experiment. There was another one about making these circular paper planes, which worked really well actually. There was one with cornflour and water and how it thickens and like it turns between a solid and a liquid if you like put pressure on it. Just like really simple things. And then there was like a volcano one where we had to mix different things, and when you added them together it all like spouted out. And one of the girls, oh jeez, she's just, those two new girls, Isaac, that have started, the younger ones are so stupid and so just, it's like gradually add water in, put a couple of drops of this in. It's like, and so God, the wastage, because they don't listen. And every part of your brain, last night showed me I couldn't be a scout leader. I couldn't do it. I don't have the patience, because I'd spend half of my life shouting and the other half just hopelessly frustrated, because it doesn't seem to matter how much shouting you do, it doesn't have any impact. And then you'd probably get spoken to by the guides for making the environment too regimented, because they're there to enjoy themselves, blah blah blah. You know, my view of that situation is you like listen when you're spoken to, you shut up when you're spoken to, and you do as you're asked. So you can still have fun, but 80% of the kids in there's some that are worse than others. There's some that are fine. Not many right enough.
And near the end, Ruben got sent into my ear when they were doing flag break.
Yeah, he's like,
It was so close to making me laugh.
well,
And he started wheezing, laughing, and I got me so close to laughing.
Well, that's why he was doing it, as
he's trying to get you into trouble. So it's just frustrating, absolutely frustrating. And then the woman that knew Isaac was my son, and she was very obviously trying to make conversation. She said to me, your boy's the image of you. And I'm thinking, yeah, it looks absolutely naffle like me, it looks exactly like his dad. Didn't say that, but it's like, why would you tell someone their kid looks like them when they clearly don't? Just a weird thing to say. She kept checking the rugby scores because Ireland were playing last night, which they won. So she was checking that most of the night. Kids kept sticking their phones out that they're not supposed to have. It was just stressful.
We had that bungalow boy in our group.
Oh, you should have told me at the time. I was like, I didn't pay any attention.
Originally, the big tall boy.
Oh, right, the one that couldn't button a shirt up properly.
Yeah, the big tall something.
So there
Are you
was.
sure that's the scout meeting you went to? Not a special needs class?
There was a lad, big tall gangly guy like Isaac said. I think I've mentioned before that 2 of the scouts vandalised the toilets and they were allowed to come back after like a 2-week suspension or something.
He's one of them.
To me, I wouldn't have allowed them back. But anyway, and the only reason I know who Isaac's talking about is because, you know, if you start to button your shirt and you get to the bottom and you've got too much shirt left on one side, you're like, oh, for God's sake, I've missed a button, and you go back and you do it again. Well, he didn't go back and do it again. So he had a big flap hanging on one side at the bottom of his shirt and it, like, wrong at the top. It's like, Jesus Christ. He's older than Isaac as well, or at least...
Crush on.
Well, some of them could have done, but there was several almost injuries. I nearly got a dodgeball to the head multiple times. Isaac walloped somebody around the side of the hip with a big stick.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did, Isaac. That stick.
Someone was holding it, and then they let go, which made it ricochet.
And who was holding the other end of it?
Me, but it wasn't.
And what happened at the end that you weren't holding? Were you holding a stick that hit somebody around the side of the head? Yes. So whatever way, what's quickest, through town or up? Huh?
I go left.
So that's... Jesus Christ.
What are you doing?
I have no idea what fucking lane he's in or anything. Right, I'll get up because all I'm doing is complaining. So anyway, Scouts was stressful and it'll take something for me to volunteer to do anything again. So, yep, Argylle. When we come out, if it's light, I'll let you know what we thought of it. If not, I'll probably check in with you tomorrow on the way back from my mum's, or the way into my mum's, should I say. Check in later. Right, here we are. We're going to see Argylle.
Argylle.
It's about a jumper, yes. Henry Cavill might be in it, but there we are. I think John Cena's in this, Isaac.
The Walter White is in it.
Walter White's in it, yes. Otherwise known as Bryan Cranston.
Worse known as Walter White.
Oh, it's nice and cool in here. I'll keep me awake. I'm falling asleep all morning. Isaac. What is it then? G 11, 12 and 13. Hello. We're out at the cinema. Just been to Tesco to pick up a few bits for tea. We're now on the way home. I am exhausted, so you're not going to get a very upbeat review from me. I just thought I'll switch it on now while we're just out. We haven't really talked about what we thought of it. Argylle. So what do you think, Isaac?
It was good, except when you pay close attention, certain things is confusing.
Nobody's got indicators in this town, and if they do have indicators, they're using them wrong, because they're indicating left and going straight on, or not indicating and turning the corner. Sorry, it's aggravating. I mean, you're tired, it's even more aggravating. What was confusing, Isaac?
When people got shot, there were no marks. They would just fall over.
It's very 18.
If someone got
Because-
shot on the head, there wouldn't even be a dent.
Okay.
They would just fall over.
Something that's clearly been lost on Isaac is that this was very much tongue-in-cheek, over-the-top, silly. You get movies like, I'll just give you an example of what I mean. John Wick is over-the-top ridiculous, but it's not meant to be tongue-in-cheek, silly, stupid. It's actually meant to be a proper serious action movie, and he's like dodging through all these bullets, and you're meant to believe it. This was very much over-the-top, cheesy, silly, 80s action. Not very many action scenes, to be honest. There are a few, but it's not full of them. It's more story-based. But the fight scenes are not to be taken seriously, and they're not even put across that way. They're very over-the-top, very silly. So that's why you're not going to get like horrible injuries and stuff like that. Like the music that they generally accompany, and I've just been hit with a killer headache. Out of nowhere, it's just hit me like a ton of bricks.
Pull over and all that.
No, it's alright. I've forgotten what I was saying now. Yeah, even the music that accompanied the fight scenes was like really OTT silly. I actually really liked the musical accompaniment. I thought it just made it more ridiculous. The first major fight scene, which is on a train, was probably my favourite. I can't really tell you why without spoiling the premise of the movie. Most people going into this seem to know kind of this movie is not, this isn't spoiling anything, it's not a straight spy movie, it's about a woman that's writing a spy film. I said that beforehand. That's all I knew. I didn't know fully anything else. But obviously we're seeing her characters realised on the screen. She's writing about a character called Argylle, and we're seeing the story play out, and they tie together in some way. I just read afterwards, they're having a lot of complaints about the cat that was used, because apparently, you know the cat that's in the advertising in the little cat, what is it, a cat bag with a little hole? It's similar to like pugs with dogs and French bulldogs. They're a breed, you know, the flat-faced breed that have a lot of issues, a lot of congenital issues, respiratory issues. And they're saying that this movie is going to popularise that breed, which it will do. It's a really cute cat. Complaints have been these cats are the type of cats we don't really want to be. Two little tiny dogs coming past. We don't want to popularise the breed because they have so many issues and people aren't happy about it. But anyway, aside from that, I think, you know, you have to credit people with common sense. If you're going to get a breed, you're going to get a breed. Just, I suppose they're worried that people that are, you know, you get people that are pet owners. I'm going on a complete tangent here, and they've got common sense, and if they get a dog that is or a cat that is a specific breed, they will know what comes with that. Like Alan, as an example, he's had a load of pugs, so he will know issues that they may have. People that get big dogs like retrievers, back end goes, think, you know, there's always specific. With staffies, they usually always end up with like arthritic problems and cataracts. Collie is the same. So, but I know these type of cats have a lot of congenital issues similar to flat-faced dogs, and they're not happy that they're popularising the breed. Anyway, I just thought I'd slip that in. I liked it. I didn't love it. Henry Cavill wasn't in it enough, and that's just me. That's not me being, oh, I want to see more of him. With that hairdo, I don't particularly want to see more of Henry Cavill, it has to be said. It's awful. Tried to pretend it wasn't there. But the role he played was really funny, and I would have liked to have seen. The main parts I enjoyed was the parts where he was hamming stuff up. I thought it was really amusing. He was sort of like playing on his sort of like heartthrob sort of persona, I suppose. Most people that know anything about Henry Cavill will know he's got quite a good sense of humour about that sort of thing. He plays it down, but sort of can't be funny about it. So I found that funny. John Cena was actually quite funny in it. He wasn't in it that much. Main actress I really liked, and I need to look up who she is.
Is John Cena his actual name?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not a wrestling fan. The main girl in it, and it's awful that I don't know her name, I will look up at home. I am delighted to see a woman that's not like a stick in a movie. Absolutely delighted to see a Norton. Oh, don't get me wrong, she's absolutely stunning. She's not your typical girl on the street, but chunky thighs and a big backside. At last, a normal woman in a film. Delighted to see it. I had to look up the guy, the other main lead, Elman Rackham. Who the hell is that?
That's who I was trying to talk. You know, we were talking about the Green Mile, and I said the actor that I really like plays the killer. Yeah. That's him. And from Seven Psychopaths.
Right, well, let's hope nobody watching this hasn't seen the Green Mile.
Oh, come on, that's 20 odd years old.
So he's from Seven Psychopaths. I've forgotten his name. I had to look it up because it was really annoying me.
He always plays someone who's a little bit scrupulous.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a popcorn film, not to be taken seriously. It was good fun. I think it could have been more fun if Henry Cavill was in it more. I think they could have trimmed off about 20 minutes, made it a little bit shorter. Bryan Cranston was really funny in it. And I thought for your avid cinema goer, twisty bits in it are very easy to see coming, but I would imagine that one of them I didn't see coming at all, which was the first main one. Didn't see that coming at all. One that comes really late on, I saw. But yeah, I'm not saying anymore. Would I recommend you go to the cinema to see it? No. I would say wait on streaming. I don't think there's anything more to be gained from paying to see it in the cinema. I just wanted to get out of the house because I'm just sick sitting in the house and I felt really tired. I thought, right, I'm going to get out and wake myself up. Hadn't worked, still half asleep. Why is this screen like this? It's all dark. I don't know. But is it worth watching? Yes. I would give it a, let's see, we'll do Letterboxd out of 5. I'm hovering between a 3 and a 3.5. I'm just trying to think of other films that I gave a 3 or a 3.5
It's not worth a 4, but it's more than a 3.
Yeah. So we'll say it's a 3.5. What about you, Isaac, out of 5? It's just easy to watch. It's easy to follow. The acting's all good. There's a couple, if you like, some people will really be put off by how slapstick it is in places, and there's one particular, don't want to use the word fight scene, action scene with the 2 main leads that I was thinking Darren's going to be hating this, because I moved because I was too warm, I had to move. I made the mistake of going to the toilet, and then when I came back in, when I hit about halfway back in the cinema, the heat hit me like it was awful. I thought I'm going to fall asleep if I sit in this seat, so I went down near the front where it was much cooler. But as I'm sitting separate, I'm thinking he's going to be hating every minute of this. So I was expecting you to say something about that scene with the 2 main leads when they're defending themselves, which I really liked, because I can't say without, you know, like the coloured smoke bombs.
No, they just the only spoil on that bit was there was a symbol that popped up once, and they should have left it at that, and then they put the symbol in 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
They didn't need it 2 or 3 times. The first time was like, oh, that was clever.
I don't think the film is for super astute, educated people. You know,
Just in case you missed it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a popcorn flick that will be watched probably by a lot of teenagers, you know, that aren't really going to be looking for things. But I just like the over-the-top ridiculousness of it. But yeah, would say wait for streaming, unless you're a massive fan of anyone that's in it, or you want a night out of the house. It was either that or Migration, the cartoon, but I know Migration will be kept on for much longer for kids. It's like half terms coming up, so it's a good film for me to take like Isaac and Daniel and Callum to. So I left that one, and this phone's going to switch off. It keeps going really dark and I don't know why. Right, I'm going to switch you off. Maybe it's just that it's dark in the car and that's what I'm saying. I'm so tired, I don't know what I'm saying, so God only knows. You probably got the most convoluted, long-winded, boring review you've ever had, and this isn't even from a review channel. Right, I'm going to switch off. I'm going to go home and have some tea and ice cream and hopefully watch the Gladiators if I haven't missed it. Take me back to my teenage years of watching crap Saturday night TV. I shall catch up with you guys probably en route into my mum's tomorrow.